Hey everyone, and welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday, the show where we discuss any issues or challenges you may be having. The concern we are handling in this segment comes from Ryan Ingham, and it reads, I have a vision impairment, and my friend has albinism. We are very close, but she is getting depressed about it. Can you give me any advice to help her?
All right, very good. I think it's awesome that you're trying to help your friend out. Definitely need more of that in the world. A lot of times it can be harder to help someone else out than yourself, especially when it comes to depression, because that's all in their mind, even more so than your own. But yeah, so here we've got the question. Joe, would you mind giving your best input, or would you like me to start off first so that you can kind of get the rough idea of how to do this?
I don't mind.
All right.
I wonder when I see albinism, does that mean like albino,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
the white skin? Okay, the
Yes.
pale skin. Okay.
Yep.
So first of all, Ryan Ingham, my goodness, you have a vision impairment, and one of your main thoughts is to help your friend. I know a lot of people who, if they are dealing with their own, struggle or challenge, they can easily, sink into, feel sorry for themselves, and to see you wanting to reach out to help your friend, man, that is kudos to you, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
So, as far as helping someone with, I don't know if that would be considered a disease.
Yeah.
Do you know,
Yeah.
Ryan? Would
Yeah. It would be a genetic disease, I believe, something that they're born with,
or
or is yeah. So it's a disease.
sure. I mean, I get. So I guess it would kind of depend some on what what the nature of their depression is. Like, are they depressed because of their albinism? Are they depressed because there's pain that goes along with that, or if it's just maybe ridicule from other people, or just when you look at yourself, maybe self ridicule when you look in the mirror and you see yourself, is that discouraging? So you can kind of gauge how you help this person by asking questions about why, what's the depression coming from. But for starters, surround your friend with love, because man, if someone who has a disorder and feels like they're detached from society or community in some kind of way, to help them feel accepted,
Mm-hmm.
there you're starting on a foundation where you can really start to make a difference in their life, by helping them through any challenges that come along that might be related to the disorder. But it all starts with acceptance and love, and that's the foundation. And the stronger that you build that foundation, the more effective you'll be with all aspects, whether it's related to albinism, whether it's related to her relationship or his. I didn't know if
They
it was
said
a
her, I
guy
believe.
or a girl. Her, okay. With her relationship with her parents, relationships with people at school or at work or whatever. To start with that foundation, and then you will always have that development. Um, okay, she is vision impaired and had albinism, is hurting herself about it. Oh
Ah.
my. Okay, so boy, so now we have the aspect of hurting themselves. I remember
Yeah.
learning at one point in time. I went through a time period where I was doing things to hurt myself years ago, and I remember doing that um, because there was a numbness in my life. There was kind of this lack of feeling, like everything was just so hard that there was just no feeling whatsoever, and I wanted to feel something.
Mm-hmm.
And so even if it was pain, that was feeling something. And it's a really tough spot to be in. And man, but I would go back to my original statement that the first thing for you to do is to, you know, listen to her, love her, do not judge her. I mean that sometimes we look at somebody and we want to judge them for what they do or who they are. But if you can just be there and not judge and listen, that goes so far to helping her work through all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ryan?
Yeah, I think that's great. And I like that you're here because you really touched on some things I didn't really think about. And to build off of what you were just saying last, not to judge her or to, really just accept her. One thing I would suggest is you might, Ryan, already know how and what they need to do in order to get out of their depression. Maybe they need to change the way that they're thinking about things and stuff like that. But you also need to not tell her those things. Because if you have someone who's depressed, they're not looking for somebody to tell them how to change their life. If they are looking for it, they'll ask you. But if they're not looking at it, by bringing it up and saying, well, what you need to change or what you need to do is this, this, and this, and etc. What you end up unfortunately telling them is that right now they're broken. They already know that they're broken. They don't need someone telling them more that they're broken. So now I used to take the approach of telling people like, hey, if you want to get better, you do this and this and this. But I'm finding out more and more recently that unless they ask for that thing, telling them how to improve really only makes them feel like you're showing them how they've been wrong this whole time. And it doesn't inspire them to change. They only end up feeling more in a hole. So just being around them and accepting them is super important. And another thing is, it seems that we're having problems on the Twitch. Are we still having those? I'm not sure.
It's a tad laggy.
It's a tad
cuts
laggy?
out a bit. It cuts out, and you guys are having a bit of video feed problems here and there.
How's the YouTube?
They're both running. Okay. They're both running right now. There was a delay though, about I'd say 10 seconds or so, 10 or 15 seconds.
Okay. Is the YouTube a little bit less of an? Is it more smooth? Is the YouTube more smooth right now?
They're about the same in terms of stutterness.
Oh, that's awful. Okay. Yeah. This is my. It's probably my connection. I might be running
I had
too
a
many
feeling
bits.
that might be it too. Yeah.
I can cut down on the bits per second, I think, down to 2,500 from what it is right now. I'm not sure if that will. I don't know if I have to stop the stream to do that. It doesn't say I have to.
You would have to, I think.
I just changed the bitrate down to 2,500 from 3,500. It allowed me to do that without stopping the stream, so...
I'll watch it.
Yeah, hopefully that'll fix it. Okay, back to what I was saying.
You think we're good now?
I hope so. I mean, there's only so much we can do.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to continue with what I was talking about before. I'm sure you're not really judging her too much, but as just an example is how to make sure you don't put her in that position where she feels like she's being judged, even though you're not. But being understanding of a problem, but not necessarily telling her how to solve it and what ways to do that. Just allow her to, unless she asks you, because otherwise, when I've been there before. When you're depressed and somebody says something, sometimes someone says a compliment and you're taking it as an insult because your self-esteem is so low, you assume people are making fun of you. Or if someone tells you how to do something better, it sounds as if they're saying you're doing a terrible job at this other thing. So you just have to be careful with that. But anyways, what I was gonna say is, I would have two things to suggest about this issue. One is, if you want to improve her, do your best to set an example. As you go throughout your days, show her that you're trying to become a better person yourself by living in a, like, out in public, like picking up pencil that someone drops on the ground, or giving somebody else a compliment about their shoes right in public, or to a stranger, or to even an enemy, whatever. Showing her that you're working harder to become a better person will make her feel more comfortable. Doing so will make her feel like, man, I want to do that too, and that might give her enough inspiration to make a little tiny step. And making those little tiny steps for her is super important, because every little step is a victory, and it makes her feel better about herself. When she does something she is proud of, that helps her self-esteem, and that gives her the momentum to continue moving forward. So yeah, my first suggestion would be, show her that you're trying to become a better person in front of her. Don't force it on her, but just openly display it, and that will kind of create an environment of you both growing together. And then the other suggestion I had was, if you want to help her with a problem, if you want to get to that point where you're able to say, these are the issues, and let me, maybe you should do this or try this or whatever, you need to be on a very specific wavelength with her. I would say you need to make sure she feels important. Anybody who's depressed is looking to feel important. That helps a lot. So what I would suggest is asking them to help you with a personal problem. Maybe it could be, figuring out what you want to do in college, or trying to figure out what song list to listen to, even just asking them for their advice on something, or their opinion on something. Hey, I'm going to a party later, and I'm wondering, or not later, but whatever, I'm going to a party, or I have to dress up for this event. Would you help me pick out a shirt? Asking for their opinion on something really makes them feel a lot more of a valuable person. That builds in them the sense of that they're important, and that they matter, and their thoughts matter. So asking them to help you with a problem, whether it be super personal or just kind of bland, like, hey, I'm trying to find a playlist. Do you know any playlists of songs that are good? But the more personal the problem, the more trusted she feels from your from what you have to say, from your activity with her. So all of those things are important, and I hope some of that helps.
Yeah, very well said, Ryan.
Thank you.